The protagonist of the show is an unusual girl named Wednesday Addams. Though just 13 years old, she rarely shows any emotion and has a strange fascination with death. She is also well known for her black and white gothic attire, which most people find odd. In the opening scene, Wednesday shows up at her high school wearing a chilling expression. Inside her locker, she discovers her brother, Pugsley, tied up with an apple stuffed in his mouth. As she takes him out, Wednesday suddenly experiences a vision revealing who tormented him. It's revealed that Wednesday isn't an ordinary child, she has the ability to glimpse a person's past and future simply by touching them. After discovering that a group of bullies from the swim team is responsible, she storms into the swimming pool area carrying 2 bags filled with piranhas. She nonchalantly releases the bloodthirsty piranhas into the pool, and as the bullies scramble away in terror, Wednesday firmly establishes that no one is allowed to mess with her brother, except her. In the next scene, we meet Wednesday's parents, Morticia and Gomez, who, tired of their daughter's constant antics, decide to enroll her in the prestigious Nevermore Academy. It turns out that every student at the academy possesses supernatural abilities and is taught how to harness and control them. Morticia and Gomez are also former students of Nevermore Academy, expecting that they possess supernatural abilities as well. Meanwhile, a hiker ventures alone through the woods near Nevermore Academy. Sadly, just moments later, an unknown creature ambushes and kills him. The local sheriff soon discovers the mutilated body and starts investigating the scene. Surprisingly, it's revealed that this brutal killing isn't an isolated case, several similar incidents have occurred recently. Later, Wednesday arrives at Nevermore Academy and is introduced to Principal Larissa Weems, the one who efficiently oversees the school. She introduces Wednesday to her new roommate, Enid, a werewolf who is the complete opposite of her in every possible way. Enid is a cheerful and grounded girl whose side of the room is decorated in bright colors, contrasting sharply with Wednesday's preference for all things dark and gothic. Later on, Enid gives Wednesday an extensive tour of the academy, introducing her to the primary student cliques, the Fangs, Furs, Stoners, and Scales. The Fangs are vampires, the Furs are werewolves, the Stoners are gorgons with snake-covered heads, and the Scales are sirens who possess the power to control others. Enid also introduces her to the most popular student at Nevermore, Bianca Barkley, a stunning siren along with her ex-boyfriend Xavier Thorpe, a death artist who can bring his drawings to life. Meanwhile, as the Addams family drives away, Gomez secretly lets loose a severed living hand named Thing. Thing is assigned the responsibility of keeping an eye on their daughter. The next day, Wednesday attends fencing class, where she is matched up against the formidable Bianca. After an intense exchange, the match ends in a tie, prompting the girls to remove their masks and agree to duel until one of them draws blood. A fierce duel quickly ensues, with both girls equally skilled and determined. In the end, Bianca claims victory by landing a small cut on Wednesday's forehead. Later, as Wednesday leaves the infirmary after receiving treatment, a stone gargoyle nearly falls on her, narrowly missing her and almost causing a fatal accident. Fortunately, Xavier, the death artist, shows up just in time and pushes her to safety, saving her from being crushed. Soon after, Wednesday returns to her room feeling as though someone is watching her. She searches the room and eventually discovers Thing, the hand, hiding there. Understanding that her parents are behind it, Wednesday warns the hand to stay loyal to her, or she'll confine it to a drawer. Frightened, Thing promises to remain loyal. As a result of her piranha prank, Wednesday is required to attend mandatory therapy sessions. As a result, Principal Larissa drives her to her therapy session in Jericho, a quaint town located outside of Nevermore. She meets with her therapist but remains tight-lipped, not revealing anything. Instead, Wednesday has something else planned. She excuses herself to the restroom and makes her escape through the window. As she steps outside, Wednesday accidentally bumps into a man. In that moment, she experiences a vision of his death. Shaken, she quickly heads to a nearby coffee shop. There, she meets Tyler, the sheriff's son, who also works as a barista. At the moment, he's struggling with a malfunctioning espresso machine. The instructions on the machine are oddly written in Italian, but fortunately Wednesday is fluent. She quickly repairs it with ease and in exchange, requests a ride to the closest bus stop. Just as Tyler is about to respond, 3 bullies dressed in pilgrim outfits enter the cafe and begin mocking her. Wednesday initially tries to ignore them, but once she's had enough, she fights back and effortlessly takes them down. Soon after, Principal Larissa shows up at the cafe with the sheriff and sees the aftermath. Furious, she scolds Wednesday and promptly drives her back to the academy. As they drive back to the academy, they pass a horrific car accident revealing the victim to be the same man Wednesday had seen in her earlier vision. That night, under the full moon, Wednesday plays a haunting melody on her cello from the dorm balcony, accompanied by the distant howls of werewolves echoing through the night. However, Enid, who is a werewolf, admits that she won't be joining the others because she's unable to transform into a wolf. Meanwhile, Thing shows up in Tyler's room and urges him to call Wednesday. Though startled, he agrees, and the two begin a video call. Wednesday invites Tyler to meet her at the harvest fair the next day, saying it will be fun, though her real intention is to use the outing as a chance to sneak away from the academy. At the fair, Larissa keeps a close eye on Wednesday, but the goth teenager manages to slip away and meet up with Tyler. As Wednesday and Tyler are about to leave, Wednesday unexpectedly runs into one of her classmates, Rowan. He quickly bolts into the woods, and after touching him, Wednesday has a vision and she sees Rowan being brutally mauled to death by someone. Frightened, Wednesday decides to warn him and chases after Rowan. However, before she can speak, Rowan uses his telekinesis to lift her high up into a tree, trapping her. He then confesses that his mother, a powerful seer, had a vision 25 years ago of Wednesday destroying Nevermore Academy. Therefore, Rowan is convinced he must eliminate her to prevent the foretold disaster. Just as Rowan begins to strangle her with his telekinesis, a monstrous creature suddenly appears, rips him to shreds, and disappears without a trace. Wednesday sits beside his mangled body and notices the illustration his mother had allegedly drawn of her. Shortly after, the sheriff and his team of officers begin searching for Rowan's body, but it is nowhere to be found. As anticipated, the sheriff dismisses Wednesday's claim of a monster attacking Rowan, insisting that the culprit must be a student from Nevermore. An officer interrupts their discussion, and to everyone's shock, Rowan appears alive and well. When Wednesday returns to the academy, she sees that her roommate, Enid, is completely absorbed in preparing for the Po Cup, an annual boat racing competition. Later, Wednesday attempts to speak with Rowan, but Principal Larissa tells her that he has been expelled for undisclosed reasons. As a backup plan, Wednesday instructs Thing to spy on Rowan. The scene then shifts to Rowan at the train station, unaware that Thing is stealthily trailing him. After scanning the area, Rowan slips into the restroom and secretly transforms his appearance into that of an elderly man. Unfortunately, Thing fails to notice the change and loses sight of him. Later, the old man transforms into Principal Larissa, revealing that she is actually a shapeshifter and is somehow involved in concealing Rowan's death. With no other options, Wednesday heads into the woods to search for clues about Rowan's supposed murder, accompanied by Tyler, who is secretly following his father. After some time, she discovers Rowan's glasses, and upon picking them up, she has a vision. In it, she sees a purple book that contained the drawing Rowan had. Without delay, Wednesday questions her teacher about the book, who reveals it once belonged to an old student society known as the Nightshades. However, the society was disbanded long ago. Later, Wednesday sneaks into Rowan's room after class to search for the book. She discovers a mask hidden under his bed, but before she can make her exit, Xavier walks in, revealing that he's Rowan's roommate. Wednesday quickly hides beneath the bed, and just then, Bianca shows up to see her ex. While concealed, Wednesday overhears their conversation and discovers that Bianca intends to defeat Enid in the upcoming boat race competition. So, as soon as she gets back to her room, Wednesday decides to team up with Enid in the competition, determined to take Bianca down together. The following day, Wednesday and Enid prepare for the competition. Since there are no rules, anything goes and Bianca is making the most of it. There are 4 competing teams, and the objective is to row to a designated point and return. The first team to cross the finish line without being eliminated in the lake is crowned the winner. As the race kicks off, Bianca signals to one of her teammates, a mermaid, who dives into the water and sabotages a rival boat, eliminating that team from the competition. Fortunately, Wednesday and Enid are ready for the sabotage, and with Thing's assistance, they successfully capture the mermaid. During the competition, Wednesday experiences another vision. This time, she sees a blonde-haired version of herself, who tells her that she is the key. Confused, Wednesday snaps back to reality and realizes that Bianca's team is ahead in the race. Refusing to back down, she and Enid decide to play dirty. They turn Bianca's own underhanded tactics against her and ultimately win the competition. With this victory, a non-siren team has triumphed in the prestigious event for the first time in 40 years. Later, Principal Larissa honors the winning team, presenting Enid with the Poe Cup trophy. However, Wednesday, overwhelmed by the attention, seeks solace with the statue of Edgar Allan Poe, a former student of Nevermore Academy. Suddenly, she notices a symbol beneath the stone book Edgar Allan Poe is holding. It's the same symbol that was carved into the picture Rowan had given her before he was mauled to death. Wednesday quickly deciphers a series of riddles etched into the book and uncovers a clue, snapping twice. When she does, a secret corridor reveals itself, leading to a hidden chamber. In the hidden chamber, Wednesday discovers Rowan's book, the one from which he had torn the picture. She places the book in her backpack, but before she can proceed, someone suddenly shoves a black sack over her head. Soon after, when the sack is removed, Wednesday realizes she's surrounded by Bianca, Xavier, and several other students, all of whom are members of the Nightshades Club. It turns out that although the group was once disbanded, Principal Larissa secretly reinstated it. Xavier tries to convince Wednesday to join their group, but she firmly refuses and walks away. In the next scene, Principal Larissa announces the annual Outreach Day, where Nevermore students will be required to interact with normies by working at their establishments. After arriving in town, Wednesday informs Xavier that his roommate might have been murdered. However, Xavier disagrees, believing Rowan was simply expelled. Despite his doubts, Wednesday shows Xavier the drawing made by Rowan's mother. After examining it closely, Xavier identifies the man in the picture as Joseph Crackstone, the founder of Jericho. Later on, Wednesday chooses to volunteer at Pilgrim World, a historical site dedicated to Jericho's past. There, she runs into Eugene, a young boy she previously bonded with in the beekeeping club. The two quickly strike up a conversation and begin surveying the area. Before long, Miss Arlene, the caretaker of Pilgrim World, approaches them. She leads them on a tour, highlighting several of Joseph Crackstone's cherished artifacts. When Wednesday inquires further, she discovers they include original farming tools, tableware, and even the family chamber pot. She hopes to work there but is told it's under renovation. Instead, the students are assigned to the Ye Old Fudgery, where they'll be handing out fudge and cakes to visiting tourists. Later on, with Eugene's help, Wednesday sneaks into the Crackstone family chamber. There, she discovers a painting of the old meeting house that features the girl from her earlier vision. Soon after, she comes across the same book the girl was holding. But when Wednesday realizes the pages are empty, she begins to suspect it's a replica. At that moment, the caretaker, Arlene, shows up and catches her snooping. When Wednesday questions her about the original book, Arlene reluctantly admits it was stolen a month ago. Later, Wednesday meets up with Tyler at the coffee shop. She asks him about Joseph Crackstone, and Tyler tells her that the remains of the original meeting house can be found in the woods. The place is mostly in ruins and often used by meth addicts as a hangout spot. Without wasting time, Wednesday and Thing head into the woods to locate Joseph Crackstone's remains. They eventually find the site and encounter a homeless man, but Thing swiftly chokes him, causing him to flee in fear. Suddenly, Wednesday is hit with a vision that transports her 400 years into the past. She sees the same blonde girl from her earlier vision, surrounded by a group of villagers who accuse her of being the devil's spawn. Moments later, Joseph Crackstone steps forward from the crowd and addresses the girl as Goody Addams. He accuses her of witchcraft and sentences her to burn in a barn, where others labeled as witches among them. Her mother are already imprisoned. In response, Goody denounces them for seizing their land, murdering the innocent, and destroying their harmony. Infuriated, Joseph glares at her for a moment before setting the barn on fire. Goody attempts to rescue her mother, but all her efforts are futile. In the end, with no other options remaining, she manages to escape through a hidden trapdoor. Meanwhile, Wednesday witnesses everything unfold inside the barn. Goody rushes over to her and warns that Joseph won't stop his mission until every last one of them is dead. After the revelation, Wednesday snaps out of her vision and quickly explains everything to Thing. Just then, they spot the same monster that killed Rowan lurking behind them. Wednesday chases after the creature in the rain but struggles to keep up. She then begins following the footprints, which gradually shift into human-like tracks, revealing that the monster is, in fact, a person. At that moment, she bumps into Xavier and shares what she witnessed. He expresses interest in examining the tracks, but the rain has already erased them. The next day, everyone gathers in the town square for the unveiling of a new statue honoring Joseph Crackstone. Wednesday performs an instrumental version of Fleetwood Mac's "Don't Stop" with the Jericho Marching Band, while the mayor and Larissa present the statue. Chaos erupts when, following Wednesday's instructions, Thing sets the statue on fire. As people flee in panic, Wednesday stands with a look of vengeance in her eyes, playing her cello with intense focus. Later, Principal Larissa scolds Wednesday, accusing her of being responsible for the incident. However, Wednesday denies any involvement and instead challenges Larissa, accusing her of ignoring the violent, racist history upon which Jericho was built. Later that night, the homeless man from earlier is attacked by the monster, and his camera inadvertently captures the horrifying event. Soon after, the sheriff and his team arrive at the forest ruins, where they find the man dead. They find footage on his camera that could potentially identify the culprit. After developing the photos, the sheriff is horrified to see the face of the killer, a monstrous figure straight out of a nightmare. And that's where the story ends. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell to get updated on every video that we upload. Thank you and have a great day.